When you have a Hotas system like this with switches, on off switches like this, what DCS usually does is that it registers them as two buttons, right? Up is one button, down is two button. So when you flip the switch up, it registers as you have pressed the button up, and when you push it down, it again registers it as you have pressed the down button. What it doesn't register is the fact that you have pressed button up, and when you let it go, it doesn't register the fact that you have let the button go, right? So you only have, or you only get two functions with this. But if you use a third-party app like that I'm going to show you, what you can do is you can also register your button down moments, as in the moment when you release the button, right? So you get total of 4 button presses instead of just 2, if that makes any sense. So for example, you press the button, that's one command. You let go of the button, that's the second command. Third command is you have flipped it down, and the fourth command is when you let it go. So now with the software I'm going to show you, you have 4 commands instead of 2. So to start with the programming, what you need is this software called RSMapper. I'll keep the download link in the description, right? Just open it up once you connect your controllers, and on the left hand side it will show all the controllers that's connected. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the handle is the main throttle base. So this is just a two-way switch which I'm flipping. Just need to look for it. See, so this is the two-way switch. When it goes up, it presses button 75. When it goes down, it presses button 76. So what I want to do is, when it's in the up position, right, is to engage my brakes, right? Keep engaging my brakes. And when it flips to the bottom position, what I want it to do is to release the brakes and switch on no steering wheel, right? And when I move the switch up again, so I want the wheel brake to be enabled, and I want the game to stop the nose wheel steering. Now with just DCS, you will be able to register this button press, but you won't be able to register the moment you lift this button. It will just register button 75 press when you move it up. So with this software, what I'm going to do is, first thing, button 76, that is the nose wheel steering thing, right? So I will press this, enable. So first thing is, what do I want the software to do when I put the switch down, enabling nose wheel steering? So nose wheel on. Keyboard shortcut for nose wheel steering is Alt and Q, from what I remember, right? And then what I want it to do is, when I flip the switch again up, enabling the brakes, I want nose wheel steering to be disabled. So trigger on release over here, press that, and nose wheel off. Again, to disable it, it's again Alt and Q. So left shift Alt and Q, right? So whenever I flip the switch down, it will enable the nose wheel, and when I flip it up again, it will disable nose wheel. And for button 75, that is when the switch is flipped up, what we want to trigger. So the wheel brakes on, is something like Alt Q, Alt W, I think, but W will also work, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Alt W, from what I remember, right? So when the switch is up, wheel brakes on. When you switch off the switch. When you flip it down, off. So again, left alt W. By the way, I'm doing this by memory. The keyboard shortcut might be different. Just go on your settings and figure it out. It's a very simple thing. The brakes are enabled and wheel steering is off. There we go. Okay. Engine full. Okay. Another. I flip the switch down. Nose wheel steering is enabled. Wheel brakes are off. Again, I flip the switch up. Nose wheel steering is off. And the brakes are enabled. The second scenario is I have this master safe button, so it has 3 positions. So I would say off, on and on, right? And for flaming cliffs, I wanted to use this for the radar button, right? So what I wanted to do is, if it's flipped down, it will switch off the radar and the optical system. If it goes up, it will switch on the optical system. If it goes all the way up, it will keep the optical system switched on while also switching on the radar. And if I flip it down, it will switch off the radar but still keep the optical system switched on. And if I flip it down again, it will switch off the optical system. So if I were to just use DCS, I won't be able to switch on and switch off the radar and the optical systems the way I wanted, right? The reason is it will only register the button press. It will not register the button release. So what you do is select the throttle base, then 3 button presses in the 3 toggle switch. So if I put it all the way down, it's button 95, middle is button 94, top is button 93. First thing I want to do is middle switch, which means I want, right, so when it's in the middle, I want the optical system to switch on. So over here you press select O. O is the keyboard command, and that's the setting in the DCS keyboard command as well to switch on the optical thing. So just press OK. Second thing is when I move all the way up, right, so that's button 93. When I move it up, I want the radar to switch on. That's radar on. That's the I key, right? I key is the letter I. So that's the command shortcut in the DCS settings. Now here's the interesting part. This is where you can do what DCS can't, right? You can select what to do if you want to release, if you release the trigger. In this case, the same button. So what I want to do is, if I go back to the middle button from all the way up, I want to switch off the radar. So radar off, and I select the button again, which is press I again, right? So it's somewhere here. Select I and press OK. And then finally, if I go from the middle to the bottom one, I want everything switched off, right? So now the radar is off, but the optical sensor is on. How to switch this off? What you do is, when trigger single press, which means that when it goes all the way to the bottom, we need to press O again, right? So optical system off. Choose. Press OK. Let me flip the switch off once. It just switched on my optical sensor, right? I flipped up again. It keeps my optical sensor on, but also switches on my radar. So the third scenario is, I want to use this button not only to lock targets but also to unlock, right? Yes, you can go different directions, but what I want is to press the button once to lock the target, and press and hold the button to unlock the target. Now with DCS you can't really do this, but again with the software you can easily do it. And so in this case I'm going to use the button in my joystick, right? So select the stick from here and just press it. When you press the button, you can see the button switching on and switching off. So this is the button we need. Press this. So in DCS, the keyboard shortcut to lock a target is enter, right? The enter button. So over here I will name it something like lock target, and the button is enter. So press E and find the enter button. Right, it's here. So now what I'm telling the program is that when I press the button, press enter for me on the keyboard, and that's the shortcut in DCS, so it will just register, right? The second thing is trigger on long press, right? This will be target back to search or deselect. Target. So again, so when we the shortcut for deselecting is the backspace. So just look for the right. So again, what we are telling the program is if we just press the button, press enter on the keyboard, and DCS will register the enter and lock the target. If it is to deselect, you press and hold the same button, and it will press the backspace in your keyboard, resulting in unlocking the target. Here I am, I press the button once, it locks the target. I press and hold the same button, and boom, unlocked. Again, locked, press and hold, unlocked.